Somewhere between year 7 and year 10 of investing the same small amount of money, something happens that most people never stick around long enough to see. Your money stops needing you. It starts making more money than you ever could by working harder. But here's the strange part. Right before that moment happens, it looks like absolutely nothing is working. And that's exactly why 90% of people quit 1 year, sometimes even 1 month, before their money was about to explode. Let's talk about the most misunderstood force in personal finance. Not the stock market, not real estate, not some secret investment strategy rich people don't want you to know about. It's compounding. You've heard the word 1,000 times, but almost nobody understands the actual moment it becomes powerful, and that misunderstanding is costing regular people hundreds of thousands of dollars. Here's the problem. Imagine you start investing $200 a month. You do it for 2 years. You check your account and you feel almost insulted by what you see, a few $1,000s. That's it. After 2 years of discipline, of saying no to things, of feeling responsible with your money, the number on the screen looks like a joke compared to the effort you put in. This is the exact point where most people give up. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't understand investing, but because emotionally, the math doesn't feel fair yet. And here's what nobody tells you. That feeling is completely normal, because for the first several years, compounding is boring on purpose.
Let me tell you a story that explains this perfectly. Picture 2 friends, Sarah and Mike, both 25 years old. Sarah starts investing $300 a month immediately. Mike says he'll start once he's earning more, once things settle down, once life feels a little easier. 10 years pass. Mike finally starts investing the same $300 a month, except now he pushes harder, contributing more aggressively to catch up. But here's the shocking part. Even though Mike is now investing more money every single month, he never catches up to Sarah. Not in 15 years, not in 20, sometimes not ever. Why? Because Sarah wasn't just investing money. She was investing time, and time is the one ingredient compounding cannot function without. This is where most financial advice fails people. They talk about compounding like it's a magic formula, when really it's more like a relationship. It requires patience before it gives you anything back. In the beginning, your money grows slowly, almost insultingly slow, because most of the growth is coming from your own contributions, not from actual investment returns. But here's where everything changes. At a certain point, usually somewhere between year 7 and year 12, depending on your rate of return, your investment returns start growing faster than your own contributions. This is the tipping point. This is the exact moment compounding becomes a wealth machine. Think about it like rolling a snowball down a hill. In the beginning, you're the one doing all the work, pushing it forward, adding more snow by hand. It barely feels like it's growing. But once that snowball reaches a certain size, gravity takes over. It picks up snow faster than you ever could by pushing it yourself. Your hands are barely involved anymore. The hill is doing the work. Money works exactly the same way. Once your account reaches a certain size, the returns generated by your money in a single year can become larger than an entire year of your own contributions. That's the moment your money starts working harder than you do. Now here's a psychological trap that almost nobody talks about. The years right before this tipping point are the most dangerous years financially. Why? Because this is exactly when people start comparing themselves to others. They see someone who started 10 years earlier living a completely different financial life, and instead of realizing that person simply reached their tipping point already, they assume investing doesn't work for people like them. This single misunderstanding causes more people to quit right before their breakthrough than any market crash ever could. Let's break this down into lessons you can actually use. Lesson 1. The first few years are supposed to feel unrewarding. That's not a sign of failure, that's a sign you're early in the process, not that the process is broken. Lesson 2. Consistency beats intensity. Sarah didn't win because she invested more money than Mike. She won because she started the clock earlier. Time is doing the heavy lifting, not the amount. Lesson 3. The tipping point is invisible until you're already past it. Nobody rings a bell the day your investment returns overtake your contributions. Most people don't even notice until they look back and realize their money grew more last year than they put in over the last 5 years combined. Lesson 4. Comparing your year 3 to someone else's year 15 will always feel unfair because you're comparing different chapters of the exact same story. So what should you actually do with this information? First, stop measuring your progress by how big the number feels emotionally, and start measuring it by whether you're staying consistent. The emotional payoff comes later, the behavioral payoff, the discipline, that has to come first. Second, automate your contributions so your commitment doesn't depend on your motivation. Motivation fades, systems don't. Third, and this is important, give yourself permission to feel unimpressed during the early years. That feeling doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It usually means you're doing something right, and it just hasn't shown up yet. And finally, understand this. Every single person who eventually reaches financial freedom went through the exact same boring, unimpressive, seemingly pointless early phase you might be in right now. They just didn't quit during it. Here's the powerful truth to remember. Compounding doesn't reward the people who understand it perfectly. It rewards the people who stay in the game long enough to feel it work. The tipping point isn't a myth, and it isn't luck. It's just patience, wearing a disguise that looks a lot like nothing happening at all. If you found this useful, subscribe to the Money Mind Hub, because understanding money isn't just about earning more, it's about thinking differently.